Then like it, how you can, oh yeah, yes, you always be can, oh yes, like it, how you can, oh yeah, yes, you always be can, oh yes, oh yeah, yes, you always be can, oh yes, oh yeah, yes, you always be can, oh yes. Oh yeah, yes, you always be can, oh yes. Oh yeah, yes, you always be can, oh yes. Look you, how we can. Oh yeah, yes, you always be can, oh yes. Look you, how we can. Oh yeah, yes, you always be can, oh yes. Never came out, he kept the ball in his show. I speak about that. Never came out, he kept the ball in his show. I speak about that. Never came out, he can. Oh, yeah, yes, you always be about that. Never came out, he can. Oh, yeah, yes, you always be oh 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 yeah, yes, you always be
All right, everybody, we're going to get started in 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Text your co-teachers, your co-workers, your administrators. We're going to get ready to begin in 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
I did it, I did it,
All right, guys, we're going to get started in 1 minute. 1 minute. We're going to get started. Okay, everybody, welcome back to Keep School Fun training. This is our third training. This is really exciting to be here once again with my fellow educators. Just a quick point, both our previous trainings are up on my YouTube page. So if you want to check me out looking like Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai in a cave, or hear some of the previous awesome ideas shared by our presenters, check those links out. Definitely worth the watch. And yeah, so we are going to jump right into this. How this works is as follows. We have some incredible presenters today, and they're all going to be on a timer, a 5-minute timer with a 4-minute timer, 1 minute heads up to let you know. So I'm not being rude if I jump in any way, to let you know that you have 1 minute left. Just a reminder to wrap up. And yeah, they have 5 minutes to share their best golden nuggets with you all. So without further ado, we're going to get started. Just going to make sure here we're working here live on YouTube, which is great. Yes, we are. All right. So let's get started. Okay, our first presenter. Just everything that happens in this world is for a reason. One of my favorite YouTube pages, and I did not think she would answer. I reached out to her and I said, hey, we have this training. We got all the educators together once a week, COVID, this, that. Would you come on? And she said yes. So I am super excited to hear her. She's the mother of 2. She has a really awesome, she's being humble when she just says she has a growing YouTube page. Her videos average like 200,000 views a video. So she's really cool. And check out her YouTube page. It's called Shawn M. Howell. And her YouTube page is aimed at bringing families together through fun and games. Shawn has a master's of divinity from Duke University and 15 years experience planning fun events for families as a professional children's minister in the United Methodist Church. So this is super exciting. Oh, let's find you. What just happened to you? Oh, there you are, Shawn. Hold on, let's unmute you. How you doing?
Sorry. Good. Sorry about that.
No problem. Whenever you're ready, you start. I'll start the clock.
Thank you, JJ, for having me on. Hello, everybody. My name is Shawn Howell. Kids and having best tips for preventing Zoom call boredom or Zoom call fatigue, because we all know that everybody's doing Zoom or doing stuff online, and oftentimes students and kids, just like ourselves, can get so bored and it can be hard to grab their attention. So like Rabbi JJ said, I have a YouTube channel and I've been posting lots of Zoom game ideas over there. So if you are looking for Zoom game ideas, that's the place to go. But I love having fun with my family. So the first thing I wanted I have 3 points. The first one is activate energy. The second one is going to be engage with surprise. And the third is check in with feelings. So activate energy at the beginning of your class or your Zoom call. And that can be with a game. I'm games. That's nice. I laugh a lot. You'll see that if you watch one of my YouTube videos. I laugh a lot. So games. One example I have, I don't don't know if you are like I am, but when I plan anything out, especially with games, sometimes they're a hit and sometimes they're a miss. So I always like to plan 2 or 3 games so that just in case one of those games goes badly or the kids don't connect with them, then I have some backup plans. But one of the games that I'm suggesting is the Go Find It. I don't know if anybody's played that game before, so I'll just tell you a little bit about it. So you say, go find something pink, and the kids all run to find something pink. Go find something that is shaped like a circle, and the kids go find something that is shaped like a circle, and you can really name anything. And so it just kind of gets them up and moving. And I think anything that requires physical movement is an excellent way to engage kids and get their energy up and for them to have fun on whatever you are teaching. So there's that one. Okay, another example is draw it. So I don't know if you've ever seen the game where you put a paper plate on your head. I wish I had one. I should have brought one. But so I'm going to use a piece of paper, but you just ask the kids, oh, my background is going, to put a piece of paper on their head and to draw something on the top of their head so they can't see it. So it literally could be anything. You know, for younger kids, it could be an animal. It could be anything that goes along with your lesson plan. And then everybody would show what they drew on their piece of paper at the same time. And of course, it's going to look ridiculous. So that just kind of gets it fun and gets them laughing and kind of sets the tone for your lesson. All right, so moving on, because I feel like 5 minutes is so short. Engage with surprise. So don't be afraid to be silly. If you watch any of my YouTube videos or at my house, I make randomly weird faces sometimes. Just randomly weird ones. You know, you can just, I know it's so silly, but don't be scared to get silly with kids. It'll just kind of shock them, be like, what in the world is she doing? You know, they'll just kind of click their brains into seeing what is happening. Another idea is to just get really close to the screen. I know that's weird, okay? But it'll just kind of click them out and they'll be like, what is going on? So that you're not just standing in place. So just get really close. I mean, don't go up your nose. Don't have them look up your nose. That might be taking it a little far. Okay, and then changing your Zoom background, which I've already noticed Rabbi JJ does a lot. Before this call, I think you changed your background at least 5 times. Harry Potter was in there at one point, I think. So changing your background randomly helps. All right, and then the last point is check in with feelings. A lot of times kids seem like they're bored and disengaged, but it's really because they have big feelings that they just don't know how to express. And so they're expressing their feelings by disengaging. You know, this pandemic and lockdown and everything is very, you all know this, I'm telling you stuff that you already know, very difficult for them and for us. And a lot of times we think that their boredom and their fatigue is because that we're not being interesting enough or entertaining enough. And oftentimes it's because they have really big feelings. So I have an idea for you. It's called success or encouragement stickers. So let's see, do I have Post-it notes? I forgot my Post-it notes. But you can take Post-it notes and ask your students to tell you one thing positive that's going on in their life, one thing that they have had a success about during all of this, something that can really be a win for them. And I've got a big Post-it note here, but I would use small ones. So you would write it down and then just stick it on your face. Okay, and you would just stick it on your face so that your whole face is covered with Post-it notes of encouragement and their success stories, and just kind of start off with a positive feeling to just kind of get those big feelings that they have out of the way. You could do this too with more meaningful, deep feelings if you had time for that. But okay, so you guys can find me on my YouTube channel and my website right here. I've got some free downloads over here and my YouTube channel, and I also post it in the chat. And I'm looking forward. I'm going to try and hang out just a little bit and hear some of the other speakers, but it's 9 o'clock over here and I get up at 4:30 a.m. because I have a toddler who's 2 years old. Okay. Bye, you guys.
Thank you. Woo! That was amazing. What a way to get this party started. And by the way, I personally already used many of your games, and I see on the chat room and on my private texting, people are texting me, oh, now we know where you got that idea from. Now we know how you played that. So give credit where the credit is due. Shawn is amazing. All right, moving on to our next educator, Rabbi Uriah Razan. He has his feet firmly planted in both formal and informal education. He's teaching grades 3rd through 12th, as well as working for years at Cat Mosheva and NCSY. His passion lies in bringing informal techniques to the formal setting and making Torah content come alive. He is currently the 5th grade Rebbe, as well as assistant Judaic principal at the Gindi Maimonides Academy here in Los Angeles. He has finally mastered making omelets and uploading homework at the same time, although he cracked a few laptops along the way. Rabbi Hazan.
Wow, Rabbi JJ. I did not realize I was going to have to follow Shawn, who did such an incredible job. The best that I could muster was to do a virtual background. I didn't realize I'd have to go like raid my bathroom and kitchen to compete with that. So I'm just going to do my best to manage with what I have here. That was fantastic. Thank you so much. So first of all, I'm going to start with very simply an idea that we had about trying to spread the feeling of the shul and bringing the shul home. In the shul on Shavuot, we have flowers in the shul, and we decorate the shul with beautiful flowers, but we can't do that this year, unfortunately. So we had the idea of decorating the home with flowers by growing our own. And you can purchase these at the dollar store. So you got 99-cent flower packets that you can purchase, along with these flower pots that you could purchase, and they can be decorated as well. And you can plant them, and you think, wait a second, then they're not going to grow on time. But the truth is, we planted these just yesterday. Here's a flower pot that I planted really just a couple of days ago. So you can see I'm quite talented at this. You might not get the same results, but don't feel bad. This, in truth, is actually only a couple of days old here. So you will, in your class, see some results, and the parents will enjoy, and they can decorate it. It's already wonderful. You can see people are enjoying themselves. This is great. This is great. So Shavuot flowers to decorate the house, like the mountain of Har Sinai. The next idea was you're teaching the halachot of Shavuot, you're teaching some of the ideas of Shavuot. So even as you're teaching some of those things, you can test them or quiz them by climbing the mountain of Har Sinai. So you could make a mountain of Har Sinai. You can give them an image of Har Sinai, and basically they climb the mountain behind them. And the way that happens is, let's see. So I'm going to share here. Let's change the video. So let's say you have the pasuk in front of you, and you want to ask them. So you ask them, like, can someone translate? This is the first makkah. This is the first not makkah. This is the first of the Ten the 10 Commandments here. So you ask someone to translate. They get it right. Now, amazing. So now they got it right. So now they go up on the mountain, and you have this beautiful mountain. Let's say I have a mountain here. So they have a mountain, and they climb up on the mountain. So you move them up. Maybe you could do this in breakout groups, so you can show them their progress as they're climbing up the mountain. I'm going to keep this up for a second, because also this takes us to the next thing. I've been doing once a week nighttime hangouts. This is more like of a social nature than, really academic. The kids really seem to enjoy it. We have like a schmooze. It's like, kind of like, I give them a topic, and we just have like, a discussion, and it's really fun. So for Shavuot, I'm planning to do a more like an experience, the crazy party that Matan Torah was. So we're buying, again, from the dollar store, just glow stuff, and we're making a glow party, and everybody has to go to the darkest room in their house, and I'm going to retell the story, and we're gonna play, I don't know, like rave, Jewish rave music, I guess. Like, I don't know. Thunder. We're gonna have some thunder as well. Thunder effects happening. Because thunder's scary for some people. I've been telling the kids, like, also, if they're too scared, because sometimes I tell them, like, if they're too scared, they don't have to listen. And they say like, scary, Rabbi, scary is growing up COVID and going to the grocery store and touching like a shopping cart from the unsanitized pile and sneezing, touching your face. And now you're left wondering whether or not you should breathe right, and frustrated for the next 2 weeks. That's scary. You know, they're a smart bunch, my group. So that would be one idea, to have like a Shavuot rave party with like lights and sounds. And then finally, the last idea would be to summarize or to finish the whole unit on Shavuot with a DIY cheesecake quiz. I'm just gonna finish.
1 minute, Rabbi.
1 minute, okay. I'm gonna finish off the whole lesson by filming myself in the kitchen. We're gonna make a cheesecake. I emailed the list of ingredients to all the families. And as we make, every single time we come to a step in the process, I'll stop and I'll ask one of the kids a question. It's a lot less formal, it's a lot more enjoyable. The kids have fun, and at the end we get a very sweet treat. That is my contribution, everyone. Thank you so much for this. It was so much fun.
Thank you, Rabbi Hazan. Okay, that was amazing. I felt the energy through the screen. So glad I met you a couple weeks ago, and looking forward to collabing a lot more in the future. Okay, so before I introduce our next presenter, she's just asking if everybody can open up another tab, and I'm saying this now so you can do it as I introduce her. Open up another tab online and type in Nearpod student, and then type in the code QLGJR. Leah, if you could just post it one more time on the chat.
I'm gonna here.
Yeah, just
I'll just share it. It's right here on the side.
Okay, you got it. Perfect.
Oh.
Okay. Second. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, fellow mechanchim and educators, Leah teaches high school chemistry in a low-income charter school in Brooklyn. Long before the pandemic, Leah has pioneered the use of technology in the classroom to engage and motivate even her weakest students. Due to her enthusiasm and success with these educational platforms, Leah has presented her strategies to many teachers and schools across the New York, New Jersey area. And Leah, I gotta tell you, when we did the first training, like 7 people reached out to me. You gotta get Leah, you gotta get Leah. And then we did a second training, and even more people are like, you gotta get Leah. So it came from many different angles. So I'm really glad we finally have you, and take it away.
I'm so excited to be here today. Okay, so we are on a platform called Nearpod, but I'm going to be talking about a bunch of them. And the question that I wanted to start off with, and thank you for you guys that have been answering, is what are one of your biggest struggles with remote learning? And you can see some people's responses here. You can like a few of them as you go along. One of mine, actually, even my student just this morning emailed me and said, you know, I am trying to take on other jobs right now. I haven't been able to get into Zoom because I need to make money for my family. So we all have different struggles that we are dealing with remote learning. And the biggest thing is we want to transform students falling asleep on the couches to like me, like I'm here to answer questions. So I'm going to go through a bunch of technology. It's going to be like boom, boom, boom. It might go like, whoa, right over your heads, but it will be all here for you guys afterwards. The first program I want to talk about here is Explain Everything. Basically, I take all my slides. I kind of feel like a YouTuber, because why would kids want to watch videos from YouTube with someone else's voice if they could watch your own? And I draw all over them, and I put audio and video and underline and everything, and then I upload that into a program called Edpuzzle. Edpuzzle, the students go on before they even go into Zoom. So here they are. Here's an example. They can answer the questions. I pinpoint questions in the middle of the video. They cannot skip, so they are required to watch the entire thing. And you can actually see up here how many times they watch this section. This poor kid watched this video 12 times in that section. Another really cool program, not even program, I call it a Google Chrome extension, is called Moat. For those of you that are using Google Classroom and Google Docs, you literally can download, it will take you a second and a half, this extension, and you can leave voice notes to your students as opposed to typing everything up. You can actually, I mean, for me, this is helpful. It would translate it into Spanish or different languages if they speak different languages. So here's a little example of today. We're going back and forth with one of my students. And again, I just spoke into it. It transcribes it if you want to have the whole transcription, and it leaves them like really personal voice notes. So either that's like really annoying for them to hear their teacher's voice all the time or really personal. But my favorite is Nearpod. I'm actually a Nearpod pioneer. So I go to a bunch of different schools around New York and New Jersey, and I talk about this content, and I get teachers to use it because I don't understand why they wouldn't. Specifically in remote learning, it is so helpful because you can see there's a million things that Nearpod does, and I will not even be able to scratch the surface today, but I'm going to try. You see over here, I have one of my students, they're answering the questions. So like you guys all did, you put in a code and the kids answer the questions right on the screen. I can see what they're doing the second they are answering. And that's just one example. It helps us transition to the same few students participating to all students participating, even on Zoom. Infrequent summative assessments to formative assessments that inform instruction in real time. You get real-time information and data. You can literally take them anywhere in the world. When I say anywhere, I mean anywhere. And you can take your screen, for those of you that are on Nearpod, you get virtual field trips anywhere. Here, yes, we're at the Coattail, but I teach anatomy to some classes, and now we are at the bodies exhibit. Yes, that is a real brain, and that is muscle and other things like that. And you can have a ton of different 3D images. You can actually play around with this. Welcome to the body. You see the veins, you see the arteries, you see the intestines, all that jazz, and they flip it and they're like, whoa, don't switch it, don't switch the slide. And then you switch the slide and they can't do anything about that. And what are some other things? So I'm gonna actually have you guys try it for like a second and a half. So I'm gonna give you guys a 10-second countdown. And I want you to draw an emoji for those of you that are on Nearpod about how you feel about all this technology. You have 10 seconds. Here we go. Draw, draw, draw.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And that was actually nice because that was more like 17 and a half seconds. So you actually had a little bit more time there. So we have all different people. Thank you. We have some, oh man, I love it kind of feelings, right? We got some, what is going on kind of freak attacks right over here. Like this is, I don't know what she's doing over here. We got the thumbs up. Thanks for that thumbs up emoji. We got the smiley face. We got the guys, I got so many. I can't even share all of them. I don't know which emoji this is, girl with hair, but tell me about that one. So on the teacher
1 minute, Leah, 1 minute.
Amazing. On the teacher view, I asked my students this question the other day, and you can actually see which kids submit and which ones are in progress. So as they're answering, we can't see them, but we actually can see that they are working on the problem. What I've included for you guys, because I will give you a resource so you can access all this. So you can click on any of these document thingies down here for activities and content to see what Nearpod does. You will be able to go through this document yourself on your own time to see how to get started with Nearpod, and I have linked millions of resources. I have also included a free 3-month gold subscription if you use my code. So you can just put that into Nearpod and you have free Nearpod for 3 months and you have access to that. So I wanna know, are you guys ready to make Zoom fun with Nearpod and other cool technology? Please answer the question, and just in the corner over here, I have my Bitmoji with my contact information right there. So just answer really fast, really fast. Are you ready to make Zoom fun with Nearpod and other cool tech? I don't have that many responses, guys. Oh, okay, we have some people responding all. All right, that's cool. Some of you are not responding.
Wrap up, Leah.
Okay, I'm gonna share out the responses for those of you that answered. We got partial pie here, but you betcha. Oh yeah, I can't wait, bring it on. That's all for now.
Woo! Who are you, Leah? This was incredible. How did I not know? This is a very humbling experience because I thought I was like so innovative and ahead of it. And then I'm like, I am way behind. I have so much to learn. This is so cool. So thank you so much. That was absolutely incredible, and everything you add to our community is really special. So thank you. All right, moving on. Rabbi Kahan, Rabbi Yossi currently works at Hebrew Academy of Miami Beach. Rabbi Yossi has served as middle school principal in the Judaic Studies Department chair in South Florida. His mission is to make Jewish day schools communal places of learning and growth. He is driven by an innate desire to improve Jewish education and spends most of his time looking for ways to make that a reality. He earned his BA at the Rabbinical College of America and his MED in teacher leadership at Brandeis University. He is a past fellow of the Day School Leadership Institute and the Harvard Graduate School of Education. Yossi lives in Boca with his wife, Devorah, and their 7 wonderful children. Rabbi Yossi.
Rabbi JJ, thank you so much for that incredible introduction. Tough act to follow, some really incredible presenters. And for my fellow introverts in this group, I think there's, I don't know, I think 120 people on Zoom and God knows how many people on YouTube, but this is an incredibly vulnerable feeling, I just have to say. Way, 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 way out of my comfort zone. But I got the call from actually a couple of different people. It looked like a fun thing to do. And I figured if I don't try just jumping into the deep end now, it ain't ever gonna happen. So this is it, way out of my comfort zone, but I'm so happy. There's a lot of people on this chat that I recognize, names. Hi, I am here from sunny South Florida, and it's really an honor to be presenting to you tonight. So I'm just gonna quickly go through one of my favorite quotes, which is, tell me and I will forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I will learn. And I can't think of a better time to think about ways of breaking down all of the norms of our traditional classroom and exploring so many different things. If you're a creative type, this is your moment. All of the norms of the hierarchy of administration are gone. Teachers no longer need permission to do things that they've never tried in the past. This is your moment, teachers, and I'm including myself in that because I've done so much exploring over the last few weeks, and I'm here as much to learn as I am to teach what I'm about to share with you next. So I'm gonna really just focus on and echo something that was said earlier. We're all at this place where Zoom fatigued. I think teachers who are doubling as parents, how many of you are feeling Zoom fatigued right now? And how many of you could say that your students, as well as your own kids at home, because I think for the first time in Jewish education or in education in general, we as parents now have a front row seat to our children's education, and we are getting to see what's going on in the classroom, what's not going on in the classroom. And good teachers teachers that might have hid behind those school walls before are now out in the open. It definitely feels very, very vulnerable. And this is our moment to shine and to try new things. We are definitely at a point now, after being now, I think day 61 today of quarantine, that we're at this point where kids don't want to be on Zoom anymore. And you actually might notice that I'm using a tip that I heard not long ago from someone else, that my laptop is backed away from my face, because if you imagine that your kids, your students, have not seen past here of you in 3 months, and that moving your laptop back a little bit and using a mouse so that your hands don't need to be on the mouse pad gives you this feeling that they were used to in the classroom. Your hands, they can see more of you. That's something I learned not long ago. I think it's a really important thing to do so that they're not just seeing this part of you. There's so much expression going on in the hands. So tonight I'm going to introduce you to an incredible game that I discovered not long ago from someone on Facebook called Goose Chase. Goose Chase, and I'm going to let Goose Chase do the talking. It's a 60-second promo from their company. Let's take a look. What is Goose Chase? And here we go. So I hope that you can hear.
We don't have the volume, Rabbi.
All right, hold on one second. I want to do speaker same as system. Can you hear anything now?
Nope.
Still not.
When you share, you have to share computer sound.
Yeah, so ready to do. Share computer sound, switch to phone, test, leave audio, and
Maybe post the link in the chat room, Rabbi. You're muted now.
All the links that I will share tonight will be. Oh, my wife is watching this in the other room. She said I'm muted. Good. So technical assistance. So yes, the sound was muted. I've shared my computer sound before, but not tonight. So we're just going to go with the flow, and we'll move to the next slide. Here we go. So Goose Chase is a remote scavenger hunt app. And I'm going to quickly share with you that by the end of this evening, over the next 3 or 4 minutes, you will be able to use a tool to teach about Yom Yerushalayim and Shavuot in a highly engaging way. Number 2, you will know what Goose Chase is and does. Number 3, you will know how to open a Goose Chase account. Number 4, you will know how to create a Goose Chase game. Number 5, you will know how to invite participants. And number 6, you will know how to facilitate a game. So in the next 3 minutes, I'm going to walk you through the app. And I've also just escaped from here for a second. I'm going to take you to the site. And if you want to write down the name of the website, you can. This is the name of the Goose Chase website, goosechase.com. And you can create a site where you get a free access to the game, where you can create remote scavenger hunts. And they do offer currently, and I'll just show you quickly, they are now offering Educator Plus accounts during COVID, complimentary licenses request. You put in the request and they will offer you one. I'm going to quickly show you what a game looks like on the inside. So I'm going to go to my own game bank. There is no official game bank. You can't go into Goose Chase, find games that other teachers have created. They don't have that yet, but there are Facebook groups that I would recommend you join, like JedLab on Facebook. There are 12,000 educators. You can go in there and you can learn how to use the, you can find people that are sharing their app. So let's take a look.
1 minute.
1 minute. So this is an example of a game. I'm going to go into the game. Thumbs up if you can see my screen. Yeah, good. You can see my screen. Great. So this is an example of a game. You have a game right here. It's called the kindness game. You have missions. Here's an example of a mission. For example, write 3 qualities, and they will download the app on their phone, and they will play this game remotely. They can join a team, or they can play individually. Next week, in honor of Shavuot, or in 2 weeks' time, we're going to have 120 kids in our middle school playing from their homes on different teams. They will log into the game. They will check out the different missions. They will take a picture or a video clip of their mission and submit it. And then you, as the game facilitator, will have an activity feed that you can see here. And you can watch as the game participants are uploading their missions. There is a leaderboard, so you can see which team is winning, blue team or red team. You can see all the submissions, and you can manually stop and start the game whenever you want. And so next week, we are going to have a family fun game night in honor of Shavuot. Instead of just like father and son learning or parent and son learning, it's a highly engaged, it gets them away from their computer screens, it gets them off of Zoom. They download the app, they get a login game pin, which is here at the bottom left-hand side of my screen. They will log in with the pin. They will be assigned, let's say you can do 6th, 7th, and 8th grade will be on separate teams. They will can compete against one another. You put in as many missions as you want. You can make each mission have its own value. That way they can complete the missions. And when they're done, they will be able to either win or win for a prize. And that is how the game is played. I'm going to attach all the links to the bottom of this YouTube video when it's done, including some of these remote learning websites that I've used over the last couple of weeks.
Rabbi, I don't know your time frame, but at the end of the night, we're happy to come back to you.
Yes, for sure. And I will help you upload all of these links to the bottom of the YouTube.
We're getting great. That's great. We're getting some comments in the chat. We'd love to hear more from you. So if you want to stick around at the end, you can elaborate, but we got to move on.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. Our next educator comes from my alma mater. All the way from Los Angeles, Yavne Hebrew Academy. Let's give her a proper bio. Here we go.
It's me.
Yes. All right. Okay. Mora Liat works with 5th through 8th grade in Yeshivat Yavne of LA to bring important lessons to life inside and outside of the classroom. making a connection with students by being approachable and intuitive. Mor Liat spends every Matzah Shabbos learning with mothers and daughters, hosts Shabbatonim, and dresses up every day in the month of Adar. True story. I honestly am a little bit let down, Mor Liat. I thought you were going to come dressed up as Queen Elsa, but
I know.
next
I'm
time.
sorry.
And
Okay.
get them excited about Torah, and the rest is as smooth as cheesecake. Mor Liat, take it away.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. I feel really overwhelmed, honestly. There's a lot of talent here, and just very honored to be a part of this group of really, really wonderful people. I'm going to start really quickly with something that my father taught me. My father, who's not a teacher, but definitely my teacher, he taught me that no matter what you serve at a meal, no matter how delicious that chicken is, and those sides, and that salad, and that soup, what do people remember? Dessert. That's the last thing that they remember, the last thing that you eat. And you know what? We started off this school year with the same excitement that we always do. We had our plans, we had our activities ready, we had our worksheets lined up, we were set, and then everything just exploded in our faces. And then we spent a few weeks trying to catch up and figure out what to do. And now really I was stuck in a corner trying to, I don't know what just happened, where I was stuck in a corner trying to figure out, all right, we have just a few weeks left of school. How can I make this dessert? How can I make this last taste for them matter? How can I help them remember this and leave with a good taste? No matter all the craziness that's going on, no matter how much extra screen time we're getting, no matter how much the chaos of all of of everything, truly, honestly. So I came up with an idea. Now, I have searched far and wide for Judaic studies material everywhere. I'm very, very lucky that in my school, I have Mrs. Libby Engel, who's on this chat right now, who is literally the source of every piece of Jewish material that you could ever want. Shout out to Mrs. Libby Engel. But you know, all of this material that we have, even when we're looking on chinuch.org and we're looking everywhere, all of these worksheets and all of these lessons that we have are set up for a regular pre-COVID-19 course. So we're gonna have to make some adjustments. Now, I know that I'm using a lot of like baking and cooking analogies here, but it's the easiest way that I can possibly understand it. I'm not a baker, and when I bake, it usually involves a boxed cake mix. I do something called semi-homemade. So I had to look and find some ideas to help me make my lessons exciting. The biggest issue that we have with this scenario is how do we get our students to be active participants? We have, yes, the 4, 5, 6 students that are turning in all the assignments and raising their hands and let me translate and let me do this. But there's those other students that tend to just slide by. So how do we get them involved? So I have created a truly incredible murder mystery game for my students to participate. This is specifically for my 5th grade students, but it can be adapted into any learning environment. Specifically for the story of Shimshon. You can replace Shimshon with any other activity. So I'm going to just share my screen with you to give you an idea of what I'm doing, because like most of my students, I am also a visual learner. Give me a moment. Here we go. Okay. So the first thing that you do for a murder mystery is you have to find characters. Now, the way that this would work is that this would be a 2-week-long curriculum. So the first day involves assigning every single one of your students a character. Pick a story, any story, find a character. Now, each one of these characters, with the characters, you would provide a small description of who they are. For example, Shimshon. Little example of who Shimshon is, what time period he's from. And in this case, Shimshon is our victim. Shimshon is, the question is, the objective of this game is, who killed Shimshon and how? So you give everybody a character and you encourage them, dress up. Tomorrow, we're going to come back to our Zoom. You're going to study your character. Each person gets an email of a character that they get. Come dressed up. Come with your mother's long wig and hats and costumes, whatever you can to get everybody involved. That way now every single student has a character and they are participating at least in this part. So every single story has a different amounts of characters. So you can add as many characters as you need to, take away as many characters as you need to. What I found when doing this is that sometimes your classroom is just too big. It's too big to do so many different people. So you might have to do this 2 times. You might have to split it and do this 2 times with your class.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Thank you. Okay, so for your murder mystery, you have to figure out how, who, and how. So now you have your characters. What do you do next? You got to create a script. You got to create a script with a plot of every main piece of information that happened in that story. Every single character gets to speak out their plot, and you don't want to give out too much information because remember, they have to solve the murder mystery. You can also get them interacted. You can ask them questions. How did you feel when you did that? What was going on in your mind when that happened? And then you provide them murder weapons and clues for each of them. And each one of these murder weapons are a different piece of the story. Once you give all of the pieces of information to them, now it's up to them to figure out who did it and with what weapon. So you break them out into their breakout rooms and you let them figure it out. Let them look at the evidence. Let them review everything that's in front of them and try to figure out who done it. And if it's too difficult for you to keep on top of each one of the groups, assign a student to be a student detective to help them out. Once they figure it out, and they present their theories, you give them their big reveal. This is your chance to be exciting and the climax of everything. What happened? Once you have that, once you have the preface of the story, now we can go into the Navi, and now we can go in pasuk by pasuk, and we can explain everything, getting them all excited, getting the characters to read their psukim, getting everybody to reference back and forth in their script that they had, and it makes it really fun and exciting and guarantees that everybody has to be involved because there's a character for every single piece of the story. If you want a template for it, I'm happy to email it to you.
Awesome. So can you just keep that on the screen for a second, Marlene?
Sorry.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm always so grateful and honored to be able to work with you along your side, Marliat. You're an amazing
Same here. You're awesome, JJ. Thanks for doing this.
You. All right. As you guys can take screenshots of her information or add her contact, we're going to introduce our next presenter. Our next presenter, Alex Grossman. Mara Alex is from New York. She now lives in LA, where she teaches pre-Gesher, the 18-month-year-olds at Yavne. Alex has been teaching for 8 years and works many other jobs, but enjoys working with kids the most. She has been in camp since she's 5 years old, and more recently began running her own camp programs and creating exciting programs for children. Alex spends a lot of time working with children and adults with developmental disabilities. She ran a camp program for Camp HASC for 4 years. Alex is a behavior technician providing ABA therapy to children in LA. Alex's love for teaching children is so great and can't wait to share some of her ideas. So without further ado, Mora Alex, take it away.
Thank you, JJ. Can everyone hear me? Okay, first of all, I'm going to read because I already timed myself with reading. So first, I just wanted to thank everyone for coming and thank JJ for putting this unique opportunity together to learn and grow from educators all over the world who have been using their brains in ways we didn't know possible to deliver fun to our classroom during this trying time. My students just turned 2 right before or during quarantine, and never did I think I'd be successful in teaching them actual lessons over Zoom without my instruments, my scarves, my toys, my Play-Doh, and all other classroom materials. Needless to say, it's been quite a challenge, but definitely a fun one. As we head into Shavuos, we began to learn about farm animals, which will ultimately lead us to learning about cows, which will carry us to milk and dairy and take us straight into the holiday. When we introduced farm animals, I focused on chickens, hens, and chicks. We discussed how we get eggs from them, and the children loved learning to see what food they get from which animals. We took an adorable virtual tour of a farm and learned from a professional about chickens and how they lay eggs. This morning, we continued our guided tour of the farm as we learned about horses. We learned the difference between a horse and a pony by measuring their height with our hands. Later this week, we will learn about the cow, its udders, and how we get milk from them. While the virtual tours have been amazing and exciting and I will continue to keep using them as a resource, one thing I found to be very exciting and interesting for my students is using games from the App Store to relate to my lessons. I use my phone as a second device to share my screen. Any game I open, I tell the children, I need your help by touching your screen to see what's going to happen. This whole idea began with a balloon popping game called Balloon Pop when I needed to make a virtual birthday party more exciting than just singing music and cake. I had a screen of different colored balloons. Some of you might remember JJ and I demonstrated it last week. I told the kids, okay, 1, 2, 3, start popping your balloons. So while they're hitting their screen, I was the one on the other side clicking my mouse, popping the balloons, which they thought was so exciting. Okay, for Mother's Day, I told the moms to come prepared, ready to bake cupcakes with their children. Some of them texted me, I don't have flour, I don't have this. I said, don't worry, don't worry. Using an app called Cupcake Maker, we prepared the eggs, the sugar, the flour, we stirred it up, we chose our cupcake liners, we baked them, and we ate them all up. This was very engaging for the children, and we enjoyed a delicious treat together. Today, we took care of a horse using Horse Hotel. We were responsible for one horse in the stable. Of course, as we learn about the different animals and the different places on the farm where they live, I explained to them everything they need to know. So we're not just using apps. I told the children that the horse was feeling weak and that we needed to feed him. This was all told to me on the app. They helped me give him sugar by dragging their fingers from the sugar to his mouth, and we watched as the horse transitioned from a slow gallop to a fast run. We brushed his hair and cleaned him up from dust just before he went in for the night. Later this week, when we learn about the cow, we will come as close as we can to milking a real cow. The app called Milk the Cow will show us his udders, and the children will help to get the milk out, again, by using their fingers on the screen. I can always see their faces in amazement, I can already see their faces, enjoying filling up a can of milk and hearing as the dripping sounds of the milk hits the tin can. Lastly, we will take the milk that we got from the cow, and we'll make milkshakes with the app called Milkshakes. We will choose a flavor ice cream, scoop it out, pour it into the blender with our milk, add a funky straw, maybe some toppings, maybe some whipped cream, and we will together enjoy a delicious Shavuos treat. I would like to add just one more idea that I have found to be very, very helpful in teaching, especially 2-year-olds, and I've taught 5-year-olds also. This is very engaging. Sing, sing, sing. I try to put as much as I'm teaching into a song. And how do I know that this works? I can recall information from when I was a student that more than anyone else in my family and more than most people I know, except for people I went to school with, everything I taught was taught to me in a song. No joke, I can sing to you any topic that falls within Yediot Klelios. I can sing you an entire parak of Parshas Balak, all of the shiras, and much, much more. My family always jokes at the Parsha table that it's not fair because I'll know the answers to all the Parsha questions because I know everything in a song. Okay, being creative does not come easily to everyone, but this is our time, more than ever. We have to be constantly thinking about new activities that will keep our students interested. Look around your house, dig through your attic or garage, check your own kids' toys, and see what you can make useful for your own classrooms. Have a class outside on the grass, show them your swings and your outdoor toys. Take a trip to the market and shop with your students. Wishing everyone continued success and an enjoyable Memorial Day and a beautiful Shavuos. And if I have a few more seconds, JJ, can I share one of my apps?
Yeah, quickly. I have 30 seconds, and then lots of people are asking for the names of all those apps. So if you can share that in the chat room as well.
Quickly, I'm going to share. Can you? Oh, let me share my screen.
Yeah, we see.
Can everyone see?
Yep.
All right, here we go. This is what we're going to do for milking the cow.
We like all your apps.
Thanks. Okay, so simply I just tell them, use your fingers, and I'm the one behind the camera with the udders. And if my sound was on, they would hear the drip into the can. And we will make milkshakes with it, and it'll be really exciting.
All right. That was incredible. Thank you so much, Mara Alex. What an awesome way to tap into the App Store and let your kids feel so engaged by touching the screen. That is amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And without further ado, let's move on. So our next presenter, Srila, lives in Los Angeles. She is the program director of Kol Yaakov Yehuda's Girls Division, a dynamic junior congregation that's pioneered many of the well-known Shabbat program ideas, Shabbos programs around the world. She is the Ruchnius director at Camp Emuna, working with both staff and girls, and runs a successful in-home preschool throughout the year. She is also the Srula from Move It with Srula. Check out her Instagram, tons of great resources there. A party motivating tour de force. Srula, you with us?
Yep, I'm here. Hi.
All right, take it away. Your 5 minutes start now.
Hey, everybody. So first of all, thank you all for joining, because without an audience, there's no platform for Rabbi JJ to keep doing all of these incredible programs, which is in turn helping all of us implement new ideas and exciting ideas. So what we're going to do is I want to take you on a little journey from preschool, which I do teach, all the way through high school, which I interact with on a occasional basis here as well, and just give one little point for each age group. So starting with preschool and 2 and 3-year-olds, what I think is the most important is variety within simplicity. So that might seem like an oxymoron. If I'm having variety, how is that simple? And I'll explain to you what I mean. So just like in a regular preschool setting, you have your set routine and the kids know, I come in, this is what happens, this is my schedule, etc. Have your set schedule and your set routine every single day. So for example, in my school, I'll start with, right now, because that's what works, we start with counting Sphira. And if you see here, it's kind of like what Alex was saying a second ago. You can actually, the kids actually help me count the Sphira. We turn on we open this up and I ask the kids to press the button. So each time, if you press the number 1, it actually flies and covers up the number 1. If you press the number 2, it actually flies and covers up the number 2, etc. And every morning we start with this. So now, just a small way to start our schedule. But then within every piece of the schedule, bring a variety. So for example, our schedule is the same exact routine every single day. We do teaching, music and movement, and then story time. So how do we do that, and how do you bring variety within that? So every day it's 10 minutes of teaching, but sometimes it's with hands-on objects to animate the situation. Sometimes it's with things that I tell the parents to pre-prepare for the kids to hold up so that they match exactly what I'm talking about as I do it, so that they're also hands-on in the situation. Sometimes it could be a slideshow. Now this is a small point which just I want to bring up, even though it's probably really clear. Nothing that I'm saying today really is like, wow, blow your mind kind of thing. It's all simple, but hopefully also really productive. So one really small thing is when you're sharing a video or a slideshow, make sure you tell your kids where you want them to look. Because if you're talking about 2 and 3-year-olds, they have their friends, they have Mora's voice, they have the video on the screen, like, where do I look? What do I do? They don't even know what to pay attention to. So you always make sure that you tell them, okay, I'm showing you the screen now. I want you Kindle to be looking at the screen. Or listen to Maricela's voice. You don't have to look at Maricela. Listen to my voice while you're looking at the screen so that they really, know what to do and what's going on. So then it goes to music and movement. Some days it's you grab your instruments. Some days it's let's all sing together. Some days it's actually putting on a video. Everybody watch the video, follow the movements. Then goes story time. Some day it's a felt storyboard, which you have right behind you. Some day it's a puppet show. And one day it's an actual book where you use a second screen and you could show them. You could show them the book, excuse me. So the idea is that you bring a little bit of variety, but keep it simple and really follow routine. That's where kids feel safest and they feel and they're prepared for what's coming next. They're ready, and it feels more like their regular routine they had in their school. Okay, number 2 is we're moving up to elementary. In elementary, I think what is something that is so important, and a few of the other presenters have brought it up, but I'm going to bring it up again, is movement. You want the kid's brain to be active. When you're sitting at a screen, I know myself, I'm trying to teach and help my children learn. By the end of 2-3 hours, my brain feels fried. It's hurting. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? So you have to bring in movement and energy. It could be as simple as having an actual dance class. I teach dance, so I do dance with a few schools. And I know that I've gotten incredible feedback, Baruch Hashem, from schools who are like, okay, my daughter just finished your half-hour dance Zumba class, and now all of a sudden she's engaged in the next 2 classes. So movement, and then it could be more intricate. You could interweave it into what you're learning. You just taught a few psukim. Now you want to ask yes or no questions. Okay, everybody stand up. If the answer is yes, do a jumping jack. If the answer is no, do a little twist. You have them actually moving to answer your questions, to stay involved and to be a part of it. And then you also could bring them, let's say you teach a 5-minute section and then you say, okay, everybody run and find me 2 things that connect to what we're learning. So I know Shawn said in the beginning, like we tell them a specific, find a pink, whatever. But let's say we're dealing with fifth graders, telling them to find one specific thing might be beneath them. But if you tell them, go find me something that connects to Shimshine, which is what Marley was teaching, then it's more interactive, it's more brain. You're getting their brain to work and you're getting their body moving. Okay, moving up to middle school. Many presenters have brought up in the past weeks when I've watched the idea of bringing in different faces. So calling in celebrities, going on, like Rabbi JJ suggested, gig salad and getting professionals. I think another really good point is bringing in your students. Allow your students to be co-teachers with you in this whole situation. So what does that mean? How much more exciting is it for the kids if they presented something and they get to share it? And then the other students are seeing their friends show something that they created. I just finished a multi-day color war that a school hired me to run for their school. And the girls literally blew me away. They created presentations, slideshows, animated movies, choirs on the screen, which they sent to me and I was able to share because you don't.
1 minute, Marisrola.
Got it. You don't want to always rely on someone else's internet. But animated commercials they created. These girls were able to bring out so much more excitement. And for some of us, you're not used to like talking the whole time because usually your kids are talking during class. All of a sudden you find yourself like throat dry because you're talking for 2, 3, 4 hours straight. I don't teach that long, but some people do. And how much more fun is it to bring your students in, allow them to teach? They're having more fun, you're having more fun, and woo, it's just fun all around. And then the last one is high schoolers. High schoolers are really, really not too old for hands-on learning. Studies really show that students acquire a deeper knowledge, like really, really allow it to get inside of them when they have active exploration, when they're solving real-world challenges and problems. So it's less of lecturing and more of doing. Really get your students involved. So whether it is you teach a lesson and then you go have them recreate it in a baking, let them create a cake. We did this actually by the color war. The girls created these beautiful cakes or art projects, right? Different segments, and different girls will show them a drawing or a Lego creation or something else. And even high schoolers will do this, and it allows them to get hands-on. It allows them to be passionate about what you're learning and what they're learning. So just quickly in summary, we have 4 divisions. Elementary, you want to keep a variety, sorry, not elementary, preschool, you want it to be variety within simplicity. In elementary school, you want to make sure you're really including movement. In middle school, make your students your teacher assistants. And in high school, less lecturing, more doing, get them hands-on. And I wish you all the best of luck with everything you're doing in your teaching methods.
That was awesome. You rock. All right, I wonder who your little brother is. Okay, just kidding. You were amazing, Sperla. Everything I know is from you and my older siblings. So, and my parents, my father's shouting out from the side. So you guys are all amazing. Okay, moving on. We have a special treat, ladies and gentlemen. We have our next presenter who's actually only 14 years old, Elchanan. Elchanan Greenbaum is 14. He grew up on Shlichos at the College of New Jersey. He goes to yeshiva in New Haven, and he is the founder of superjew.com and an online video learning for Jewish kids, which is running called Parsha Puzzler. I think it's .com or .org. Hopefully he'll help us and show us and tell us. Elchanan, you there? Elchanan? Woohoo!
I saw him here the whole time. He was
I know.
Before.
Elchanan. All right. We will come back to Elchanan and get him on. Chaim, are you there, Chaim? Chaim Heber? Chaim? Woohoo!
Yes, you hear me?
Okay, we
Yep.
have Chaim, which is great. So we'll come back to Elchanan. Chaim, we're going to spotlight you here. If you could start your video, please, that would be great. And Chaim Heber is a software developer with a passion in innovating and creating systems tailored to children's education, using his background working with children in camps and schools and seeing firsthand what truly motivates them. Chaim has applied that knowledge and those experiences learned and developed a reward incentive system for children that has been successfully implemented in multiple institutions, including my school, Yavne Hebrew Academy. It's amazing. Cheder Menachem and other camps. So, Chaim Heber, you are up. Chaim?
Okay, if you can make me co-host. Yes, if you can make me co-host so I can share the screen.
Perfect.
Okay. So first I want to thank JJ, obviously, for doing such an incredible job putting together this program and giving everybody tips and advice and things that we either didn't think about ourselves or someone else did it better. I was going to introduce myself, but JJ covered that very well. So I'm going to talk about innovation with chinuch in a very nice way. Furthermore, I think that nowadays it's essential to use and take full advantage of technology when it comes to chinuch. This is not exclusive at all to Corona, but I think that Corona kind of spotlights it in a certain and special way due to the remote activity and due to the distance between us and everybody else. Everybody on this group is trying to give a better appreciation to students to kind of enjoy school, learning, and everything around us in school. Now, the problem with the remote activity that we have and the fact that we're not in school together, besides for all the many disadvantages that we do have, one of the things that the biggest problem is that you can't give over a personal connection like some of us do when in the hallway you're walking by and you high five to a student. We don't have that. So if there was something that we could do now, even with the distance, to try to give over that personal connection, try to keep our students involved in a program where they think that they feel connected to the rest of the class, that would really help us. So I'm going to talk about a little bit of a program that I worked on over the years in Cheder Menachem and in other camps, and now other schools are using it because it was very successful. It's a mitzvah, which a mitzvah is basically when a class program together or a school program where everybody gets together and does certain things and gets rewarded for it, and it creates a vibe, it creates an excitement. So mitzvahs have been going, classes have been going on for forever. But when we were trying to make one back a couple of years ago, we wanted to make something a little special, something that was more tech related. So we came up with the idea of doing it with credit cards. So we gave out credit cards to every kid, and there they would have the ability to use these credit cards in a kiosk, in a system that we created, where they can access an account and they could add points to it and gain rewards. Now, I believe that this is very, very important. First of all, because of what I've seen over the years, the kids really connect it because it is technology in school. It's an excitement, and it's a very grandiose kind of program. Now, I'm not saying that anybody has to use this exact system, but it's the idea, it's the mindset which I'm trying to give over. The mindset is that technology is so much to it that we can use so many different ideas. For example, if we wanted to give out coupons to our students and then reward them with these coupons, so all we have to do is take an Excel sheet, write down a whole bunch of different numbers, and then text our students who are davening well, 1 1 2 2 3, different numbers, and then after that somehow reward them, keep some sort of system like that. I think is very beneficial. But down to the point which I'm trying to share is this program, which maybe either you would want, or if not that, you can try to take some ideas from it. So I'm going to go through a few slides and you can see kind of how it works. JJ's been using it. I'm hoping, absolutely, I hope it's working well over there. And so here we go. So these are the credit cards. They're very nice. They're very exciting for the kids. The kids love them. Each kid can act looks like an ATM. You can see a little bit of a summary. Oh, JJ is showing off his credit cards right there, and you can access his ATM kind of system where he sees how many points he has. The way he gains points is by filling out checklists. Now these checklists are very customizable. You can do whatever you want from the back end, which I'll show you soon. as well as he can see what he did, why he gained points for what. There's various different types of reward systems. There's coupons. There's a prize store where you can buy from. There's these coupons which you can mail them. So think about these. Even though we have that distance, you can send these coupons through chat or through whatever it is, and you can keep these kids connected to class and excited about class. The kids add these coupons into their account to get bonuses. You can make special. It's a little less applicable to Corona times. You can send them messages, and the main thing I want to show about the system is the simplicity of how you can control it and monitor the activity of what's going on. So over here you can see analytics about your dashboard of the orders that the kids are making, the activity that they're doing. You can go through each student, see how many points he has. There's different levels, so you can see how many points he needs to the next level. Obviously, I'm going through this very, very quickly, and
Chaim, we got to wrap up.
Time very, very soon. Absolutely. So the point is, again, technology is very, very powerful, and it should be used, especially in times like now. Again, like the other idea that I was saying before with coupons and Excel sheets, or things like this with prizes. Amazon is still working. So if anybody has questions about this, they can obviously contact me about this, and I will try to work things out like that, because I ran out of time. Again, thank you, JJ, very much,
so much
for doing this. And
all right, Shkoyach, thank you very much. You guys can see I have my credit cards right here. They even have my name on it. Every student got their card, and they went up in rank from red to blue to green. It was an amazing program, and it's still ongoing even now. The kids are still going on their account, putting in points, which is awesome. So thank you so much. And our final and last presenter, and then we usually stick around if anybody has some questions or comments or want to hear more from our presenters. But Elchanan, you missed your intro. We're going to give it again quickly, but Elchanan is 14 and he's doing some incredible, amazing things that you're about to hear about. So Elchanan, we're happy you're with us. And here we go.
Yes, thank you very much, JJ. A pleasure to be here. So basically what I've been working on is a Parsha related video that basically there's 2 videos that come out a week on, we try to put it up by Monday. It's one video is a short animated summary of the Parsha, and then it also comes along with a game show on the Parsha where there's a sheet. I made a website for it. There's a sheet that you could fill out, and you could put in answers. Teachers could go on the website, share the document with their students, and the teacher could share the game show, and the students will fill out the answers on the question sheet. So I wanted to show you what this would look like. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'll show you a little bit of my work. Okay, so
Take your time, Elchanan, don't worry. You're doing great.
Okay. That's good. There we go. So this is the website. It's you type into your browser parshapuzzler.org. This will come up. You don't need to go anywhere. You just scroll down the page, and from Monday, that week's video will show up on the page. So this is this week's. I'll show you a little bit of it. That's weird. And so instead of showing it on the website, I'll just show it here. This is all my previous videos. This is actually where I make the videos. It's called vyond.com. It's very simple. Literally anybody can make a video with Vyond. It's the easiest thing in the world. Obviously, there's some talent to it, but it's super easy, and you could all use it. Vyond.com, I'll post it later. And this is some of this week's video.
Welcome everyone to Parsha Puzzler. This week's Parsha is Parshas Bamidbar. With this, we begin a new sefer in Chumash called Chumash Bamidbar. Let's move on. The Parsha begins with Hashem telling Moshe to count all the Yidden. Hashem gives a Nasi, a leader, to each one of the 12 Shvatim. After Moshe counted all the Yidden, we find out that there were 603,550 men over the age of 40 who left Mitzrayim. This number does not include Leviim. Rather, the Leviim were chosen to have the job of building and taking down the Mishkan. Next, the Torah tells us how the Yidden camped. The Mishkan was in the middle. All the Leviim were right next to the Mishkan. Then you had the flag of Yehuda on the right, which included Yehuda, Yisachar, and Zevulun. On top, you had the flag of Dan, which included Dan, Asher, and Naphtali. On the left, you had the flag of Ephraim, which included Ephraim, Menashe, and Benjamin. Last but not least, you had the flag of Reuven, which included Reuven, Shimon, and Gad.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of this week's summary, and I wanted to show everything, so I'm also going to show you a short part of the game show. So it starts off saying everything. Yeah. Later on. A second. Here, and then I say, the animated person says,
Number 2, who was not counted in the count? A, newborn babies.
Okay, so this needs to be worked on a little bit. Then there's a 10-second countdown for people to write their answers.
Who was not counted in the count? A, newborn babies. B, people who did Averis. Or C, Leviim.
And at the end, once you get to the end, it goes through 7 questions, one for each aliyah. And at the end, I say all the answers.
A Nasi.
We go through all the answers, and the students could self-mark their work. And then over here at the bottom of the website, you have the sheet where you could send, and that's pretty much it.
That was incredible. Elchanan, I'm getting like a million texts saying, don't cut him off. Let him have another 5 minutes. That was amazing. Thank you so much. I actually use your video every single Friday during my Parsha Plus, which everybody is invited to and their kids are invited to. And with that, talking about Parsha Plus, I wanted to share with you one quick resource, and then we're going to open it up. So show you something first. Welcome everybody to Parsha Plus. That is actually how I start off my Parsha Plus every Friday with the kids. And I built this brand. So as everyone's saying, we need to connect and engage with the kids so much more. Brand the things you're doing. What do I mean by that? You know how much it costed me to make that logo and the video? It costed me $5. $5, ladies and gentlemen. And it took me 1 minute. I went on a website called Fiverr.com. Fiverr.com, many of you are familiar, maybe some of you are not. You can get logos, animations, video editing, all done for you for about $5. So even if you think that it's just like a simple class that you're giving, brand it and make it so much more excited. Post it on Instagram, on Facebook, and say, you're not just doing a murder mystery, but the murder mystery is going to have a logo. Thank you, Marliat. Great example. The murder mystery is going to have a logo. So let's start murder mystery logo. I don't know. I'm just guessing right here. Let's see if I can find a vendor. There aren't searches, but let's say maybe scavenger hunt, or let's say game logo. That will come up. Game logo. All these people want to make you a game logo and an intro for $5, $10, $15. just seller details. It's basically really talented vendors coming together and trying to make a couple dollars from around the world. So if you just put a $5 max budget, all these people are ready to work for you. So you don't need to pay big graphic designers or video editors to make your things look cool. This is all really cool. And aside for Parsha Plus, I also do something called every single day called the Kids Show, which empowers kids to bring on guests and interview them. We've had NBA players, we've had rabbis, we've had doctors, we've had some really cool people. So invite everybody to come at 2:30 every single day Pacific time. So 2:30 in LA, 5 o'clock in New York. And here is another Fiverr video that I made. And this one also costed me just $5. And he needed 6 personal pictures from me. I gave him 6 pictures and he made this. Wait, we'll start again so it doesn't do that. $5, guys. A class just started on a completely different note, and everybody is pumped and psyched for who's going to visit. Anyway, thank you everybody for joining us today. We are going to, the chat room is open if you have any specific questions, or I know there's been a lot of questions. So presenters, if you see a question from the past that you want to just answer or add something to your presentation, you're all co-hosts. Jump on and feel free. We're going to do this for about 15 minutes, and then we're going to shut it down at about 7:30, 10:30 New York time. But once again, thank you all for joining, and thank you to our presenters. Wonderful, wonderful job. Okay. Okay, great job. Okay, question from me on the Fiverr. First of all, it's Fiverr with 2 R's. Let me just post the website. And if anybody wants the specific vendors, because I've built good relationships with a lot of different vendors, they can always email me. Here's my email address. It'll cut you a lot of time if you use my vendors. The recording to this video, admins and teachers, feel free to share it. I'm going to put that also right now in the chat. I already have a link. You can go back and watch past. Okay, any other questions? Tons of shout outs. Okay, Rabbi Yossi, I think you should pop back on here and maybe, I know you weren't able to finish your presentation, maybe give us another minute or two. And then I think Leah also, maybe we skipped a little bit at the end. Or if anybody has any questions, now's your time. These are some incredible, innovative educators. So get your questions ready. Rabbi Yossi.
All right, let's do it. Ready, 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 ready. Here we go. I'm going to share my screen one more time. All right. So I'm going to take the next 3 minutes to walk you through the Goose Chase app. It could be, I would say it's primarily used for, I would say, lower school, middle, high. I happen to work in middle, and it's had, like, the success has been amazing. The kids absolutely love it. Gets them up out of their seat, gets them engaged in what they're learning. And it's really been a huge success. This here, if my screen is now being shared, which I'm pretty sure it is. And yes, it is. Okay, so this is the website, goosechase.com. You build the game on goosechase.com, but the game is played on an app. It's available in the apps, an Apple and an Android, and the students will have to download the game before that. So I know, for example, like a lot of students will need permission from their parents to be able to download a game if they're in middle school, whatever the case might be. I gave them the details of the game beforehand. So this is how a game is designed. This is my game bank. I'm looking at my own games now. And these are games that I built last week. And I'm currently building with the director of student life for a Shavuos scavenger hunt that we're going to play school-wide. So I'll go back in and I'll show you again, for example, an example of what we did for Lag BaOmer. So here's a Lag BaOmer game. Take a look. This is what the game will look like if you're designing the game. You'll create an image for the game. You'll give it a name. You can add a location, and you can password protect the game so that other people outside of your school cannot get on the game. The game has a unique game code, which you can see at the bottom left-hand side of my screen. And you get to write your own missions. And then depending on how long you want to have the game run for, that's how many missions you'll create. Right here, I created, for example, let's take a look at one mission that I created. For example, 30 days, do 33 jumping jacks. If you can get someone to do, it with you, split the jumping jacks so you can do it together. Call a friend, like Omer, remember Rabbi Akiva, who taught us the important lesson of Ahavta Recha Kamocha. Call a classmate you haven't called recently and tell them 3 nice things. And then every mission that they complete, they have options of how they're going to fulfill the mission. So for example, I'm going to call the mission hi. And then in the drop-down option, I can give them 3 ways of how they're going to submit the mission, either through a photo or a video, and it will prompt them as they're playing the game how they are going to submit their mission, or a text, or a location on GPS. Once the mission is complete, I can assign however many points I want the mission to have, and then I can start the game. I can set up teams ahead of time, or I can have students play as participants. So if I get teams here, for example, I've just enabled teams, and I can then allow students to play however they want, start the game and stop the game whenever I want. I can actually automatically set it to stop and start whenever I want as well. And then I can watch the game as the students are submitting their missions. So what I'm going to do, as I told Rabbi JJ, that I'm going to post all the information to this at the bottom of the bottom of the YouTube channel. I will also make a quick video tutorial on how to play this, since there seems to be a high interest in it. And if you just follow me on Facebook, which I posted my Facebook name in the chat, I will upload a 5-minute tutorial on how to play this game, so you can have all the information.
But you also mentioned a couple Facebook groups that are worth.
Yes, absolutely. So I will show you a Facebook. Absolutely, I'm going to post that as well, but I'll quickly show you. There was a Facebook group called JEDLab. It has a total of 12,000 Jewish educators in it. I posted not long ago. I posted something about. You can see, for example, here's my post about this Yom Yerushalayim, introducing people to this goose chase. I asked people on JEDLab for questions that they have about Yom Yerushalayim. Take a look at the comments section. How many comments were posted? 65 comments on this one post alone. So it's an amazing group to be a part of. It's active all the time. And it's certainly now, like, we're all looking for resources. Otherwise, I suppose we wouldn't be here at 10 o'clock at night. As zoomed, fatigued as we are all looking for ideas. That's a great place to go to. It's buzzing all day, and teachers are sharing ideas all the time for all different levels of schooling.
All right, thank you, Rabbi. Amazing. Another quick, practical resource that I want to share with you all. If you guys do like Erev Shabbos visits, or if you bring any packages over for Shavuos, a lot of people have been doing that. Instead of driving yourself nuts of how to go from one house to the next house to the next house, okay, this right here is a route planner. You copy and paste all the addresses of Parent Locker or whatever, MailChimp, whatever platform your school uses, just pop it in right here, and it'll create the fastest route for you to then go and bring all your kids whatever you want. So I just took it. I'm doing this for my shul. We're the youth directors at Young Israel. We're doing a scavenger hunt through the community. So instead of me driving myself crazy, I just threw all these in, and right here you have all the addresses from the start to the finish in the direction that I want. Also a really cool resource. And if you've never heard of Teacher Pay Teachers, I'm sure you all did, but another incredible resource. I'm not even going to get into it, but basically awesome teachers just post what works for them, and you can buy it for like bubkas. Really good website as well. Okay. Let's see, any other last questions? Okay. If anybody else wants to throw something in here. Oh, yeah, that's right, Alex. There are a lot of free stuff. Okay, awesome. If this is it, thank you for joining. One last time, if I could just ask the presenters to just drop in their contact information in the chat room if someone wants to follow up. I know lots more people want to hear about Nearpod, Leah. And if Elchanan, you could just one more time maybe post your website and everybody's information. And where do we find the website to set a route with delivering items? It's an OG website before Waze and Maps. We had MapQuest. You guys don't know what MapQuest is? Come on. MapQuest Route Planner. There are others that cost a lot, like $30 a month, but MapQuest is free. Okay, you use MapQuest? All right, everybody. Okay, Lila Tov, thank you so much. We'll keep you posted. We should be doing one last training, how to end the year off with a bang. It's probably going to be right after Shavuos, so stay posted and stay connected. All right, thank you, everybody.